Hey everyone, happy Monday. I hope you are having a great start to the week. I am very proud to have Meredith Stowers here in the studio with us. And she is an amazing loan officer. She just did a great job closing a loan really quickly for us. And we're grateful for that. And Meredith, take it away and tell us what we can expect working with Meredith.
Thanks, Roxanne. I appreciate it. We have such a great team, and all we do is mortgages. We have to be amazing. So, one of the things we're doing because the market is so hot, and I know that you're going in with competitive bids, multiple offers from multiple buyers, is making sure that buyers are as competitive as possible. And that basically means doing a fully underwritten pre approval in advance. And that allows us to close as quickly as 11 days. We just need a property to insert and get final approval. And that is like having cash, right?
Exactly, which these days are very helpful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
today I had an offer that was a financed offer, and they basically had no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency. Can you please tell our audience, what does that mean to have no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency, and how you would do that on a financed offer?
Yeah. So, what's exciting about having it fully pre approved in advance, which means all your documentation is in first and we send it through underwriting, that means we can remove the loan contingency. We already know you're approved. We've got your pre approval. The appraisal contingency, that's somewhat of a personal choice, but it certainly makes it more competitive. We still, as a lender, have to run the appraisal. And so, typically, to make it go so quickly is we send in the appraiser on a rush, get it back, and in the meantime the home inspector is going in. So if there's anything wrong with the property, you can still cancel based on that. But if most of our clients are in good faith that they want to buy it, and that just makes them a more competitive buyer.
Which is amazing in this environment. It really helps if you are that much more competitive.
Yeah, and part of that is just being more creative. I mean, loans are wealthy people have complicated finances, and that is a good thing. So you've got to have somebody who's got the creativity and flexibility to work through those things, not be stressed about it, and figure out the right solution. The great thing in this market is we're getting a lot of private investment money back into the market. So those self-employed buyers who write everything off their taxes, we've got a solution for that, right? The multiple rental properties, we've got a solution for that. It takes a little extra work, but it's absolutely worth it to be able to manage your real estate portfolio the way you manage your stock portfolio or all your other assets.
Interesting how you put that, and also interesting that you say wealthy people have complicated finances.
Yes, it's usually not the case that you can just submit an application and voila, it's an easy pre-approval. We've got to look at tax returns, net taxes, and that's a good problem to have. Yes, it takes a little bit of extra paperwork. One of the things, we really view ourselves more like strategic real estate wealth advisors. So just like your CPA, we keep your stuff on file, and so you can always come back to us to get opinions. You get a monthly report on all of your properties to see what kind of equity, year over year return, cash flow options, and so on. And I think that's also important for your buyers. I don't know about you, Roxanne, but my view is opportunity doesn't knock, it waves at you as it's driving by. So if somebody is doing a walk and sees a beautiful house that they want on a Sunday at 10 a.m., I better pretty much have that file ready to go.
Absolutely, you're right. You're right. And if you see a property that you really want, it's not going to stay for you, and and as a matter of fact, I've been working with a particular buyer, and I've been pushing and pushing, and for them to get pre-approved. And the perfect property has come on the market, and within 3 days, it has 4 offers, and here we are still waiting to get pre-approval.
Yep.
And it's I would say this is the property for these buyers, and they're not going to get it just because their pre-approval is not ready yet.
Isn't that crazy? And that documentation really takes some time. It's not just what you upload, but for example, we have to do verification of employment. That means I've got to go talk to the standard HR docs, and a lot of it we can digitally verify. But what if we can't? The HR person isn't in until Monday, and maybe they'll get around to it. That stuff takes time. And you know what's funny? You wouldn't walk into a mall looking for a special dress without having credit cards, without having cash in your pocket. Why would you go look for homes without knowing how much you're qualified for, right? And being prepared to make that offer, because it's like having one dress on the rack that everybody wants, right? You better have your cash ready to go and everything, so they're going to give it to you first, for sure. But yeah, and I know interest rates are rising, but one of the things we do as real estate wealth advisors is we have a lifetime guarantee on our loans. So any future refinances on the property are free. So for example, we know rates are going to drop right back down into the twos in probably 18 to 24 months. So
how do you know that? How do you explain to our audience how you predict something like that?
Yeah. So first of all, if you look at the historical trends over the last 5 years, that's exactly what the market's been doing. Bounce up to 4, but maybe a little higher, 4.5, back down to the 2s, back up to 4.5, back down to the 2s, with different things. And it's been right at those parameters. Right now, the Federal Reserve Board is trying to tamper down inflation, and the number one tool they have in their arsenal is to raise interest rates. That cools off the economy, that pushes pricing back down, and so on. As soon as they're done with that, and they even admitted last week in Congress, they were late to doing this. And the reason why they were delaying is they have a much bigger problem. They're trying to finance the federal debt. So imagine your credit cards are maxed out, so they are equal to your annual income. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to refinance that credit card debt to the lowest rate available. And then you're going to maybe get a second job and try to outgrow your income, outgrow that debt. That's what the Fed is trying to do. So they need that federal debt at the lowest interest rate available. So as soon as inflation's taken care of, they're going to pop that right back down. And our clients, will get a free refinance. We've had a couple clients, Roxanne, where we've had an open discussion about this. We are very transparent about our rate stack, and we're encouraging people, don't buy down that discount rate, because just loans are just a tool. You buy a house, but you rent a loan. And so it's a tool to either increase your cash flow, or take money out to consolidate debt, or take money out to buy your next investment property and continue to build wealth. So that's why we have that lifetime guarantee on our loans.
So let me ask you this, because this is something that that one of my clients was asking. So when you say that you are refinancing at no cost, how does that work? Because every time you refinance, you also have closing costs. You have escrow fees, you have title fees, you have other what we call junk fees. So what happens to all those fees? Do they basically get a refinance at literally zero cost, or do they still have those costs, but they don't have the traditional points that a lender charges in order to refinance?
Both. They shouldn't have points unless they choose to have points. And again, we want to be transparent with our rate stack. We'll give you our recommendation, but because it doesn't make sense to spend $30,000 to have a lower payment of $40, to save $40 a month. That does not, and that's the kind of transparent math we want to do. But we waive our lender fees. and we get title and escrow. So that's 100% free. And then we get title and escrow on refinances at wholesale prices. So it's virtually cost less. And we'll do that math. How soon will you recoup those costs in terms of a lower payment? There's definitely times not to refinance. Generally speaking, if it's a half a point difference, that's when you know it's time to do a rate and term refinance. But other things like consolidating your debt, if you have a bunch of credit cards out at 20%, even if the rate is at 5%, it's also tax deductible. So you're far better off consolidating those credit cards into a lower interest rate loan where all the mortgage interest is tax deductible. So there's all kinds of things. But I think what's most important for buyers is getting on that escalator. People say, oh, I'll just rent, housing's high. No. Yes, housing went up 18% in San Diego County next year, but 2-bedroom rentals went up 46%. Mm-hmm. How much money are you wasting renting rather than getting on the escalator, because every year your equity goes up? It's kind of like a forced savings program, and you don't even have to think about it. You just live there and your house is going up in equity. So it's a great way to go.
Not to mention, if you are in a mortgage, and let's say my recommendation is always the 30-year fixed. Mm-hmm. I know that you're on the lending side and you may not agree, but I'm old school. I like 30-year fixed.
I do too.
There you go. And if you get yourself into a 30-year fixed, then you literally lock yourself up to whatever amount that was at the time when you got the mortgage. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you were basically at a fixed rate. And if the rents are going up on the neighbor who's renting, your rate is staying the same because you've locked yourself up to a 30-year fix for 30 years. And then after that, you have no payment. So so you're winning that way as well.
Yeah, we have a bunch of clients who come back to us astonishing that, they bought just 2 years ago and their monthly payments may be $2,000 a month, and their neighbors are paying, $3,000, $4,000 a month. That's natural. So your payment now might seem high to you, but I assure you in 2 years, you're going to be like, thank goodness I purchased. And, if you can't afford to buy immediately, you can always team up. That's what I'm seeing a lot of families do. They're going to the First National Bank of mom and dad, or they are in fact going in with their parents or even friends. I'm seeing friends create co-living spaces and duplexes using accessory dwelling units, which are granny flats, all kinds of really creative ways to figure out how to get on the escalator of the housing market. You got to pay for housing. Why not turn it into an asset?
Right. Exactly. Okay. So let me share a little bit about your information. So if our audience wants to get in touch with you, they can call your cell, correct?
Yes, that's my personal cell phone. You can call or text me 24/7. I'm always on.
Or they can use your email.
Yes, correct.
Correct. And you are with
Cross Country Mortgage. We're a top 10 mortgage bank in America, but we're also a broker. We broker everything from Wells Fargo, Chase, everything.
Great. And I always like to share your website because it's fun, and you can always get a lot of information on a mortgage website, especially a mortgage calculator. Mm-hmm. So if I am going here, where do I go to play around?
Good question. So you can take a look at buy, or if you under buy a home, buy versus rent. There are some fun tips. Oh, you found it. Nice.
So, well, these days I have to go to higher prices for San Diego. So.
Yeah, generally speaking, for every 100,000 you spend, it's about $450 per month onto the mortgage. It's a very rough amount. And we're getting ready to add a bunch of really fun calculators, like savings hacks. People think, oh, I don't have any money for a down payment. Did you know that if you have a Starbucks habit, that's over $2,000 per year that you can save just by making your own coffee? There's a
Wow.
ton of silly little things, and this is terrible, but the inside secrets of a lender, we see where everybody spends their money. Uber Eats, Uber, I cannot tell you how much Uber Eats. Oh my gosh. People who eat there, once or twice a week. Oh, it's just lunch, whatever. That's like 5,000 to 8,000 a year. That is a down payment on a condo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so these kind of fun savings hacks. I mean, yes, I like Uber Eats too, but come on, I'd rather have my own house.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Well, thank you very much. This is been a lot of fun, and yes, I agree. Going on this website and looking around and getting some more information here is a lot of fun. And I see every time I pull this up, I also pull up Michael Stowers' face. So tell us about Michael since he keeps on coming up.
I know. Well, Michael is the loan officer of the team. We're a husband and wife team, and he is the financial genius behind it. He's really the one who is such a creative lender, and why we do such a variety of stuff like small business lending, and build renovation construction loans. The average home in San Diego County is 40 years old, and the average buyer is like 36. So yeah, you need some updates, or you want to have a home, for your mom and dad, and so we build ADUs, or you want rental income. Lots and lots of ADUs. We're even seeing clients build ADUs on their property, a junior ADU and a regular ADU up to 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, and they're condotizing and selling them off to pay off their primary home. There's some really.
So explain to our audience what an ADU is.
Yeah, so California legalized granny flats. So every single family home in California can have at least one 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom granny flat, or I would call that a home, in their backyard. If it's owner occupied, you can also add an attached 500 square foot granny flat. And so a lot of people are buying, and then they're building a junior ADU and an ADU, either to house family members or for rental income, because a 1-bedroom right now is going for about $2,000 a month. And the big granny flats are going for $3,500, $4,000. So now your own backyard renters are paying your mortgage and you have no housing payment. Granny flats are a really exciting opportunity there.
Thank you so much. This is so much information. It is amazing to have you over to explain all that. And if the audience is trying to get a hold of you, there is Meredith's information. And thank you, Meredith, for joining us. And we will see you guys later. If you are thinking of buying or selling, there is our website, pemberleyrealty.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Roxanne Govari. Have a great day, you guys, and thank you for watching.